What if the Cleveland Browns had just said, you know what, Bake? I know you toughed it out for us on that bum shoulder. Talk about all that. That was the weirdest move, that they turned their nose up at Bake after they knew, and the city knew, and everyone who watches football knew that he was hurt, and he was still trying to tough it out for this underdog, the ultimate underdog pro football team and all of that. That was a great story, and they steered away from it and said, no, let's go chase the troubled guy and give him guaranteed money. Right? I mean, am I reading that any differently than any Browns fan is?
So Baker is a very polarizing player among Browns fans, and there is certainly a significant portion of Browns fans who feel exactly the way you did, who think Baker was our guy. We've been waiting 30 years since Bernie Kosar for our quarterback. I think it kind of ignores, though, the contract situation with Baker. I mean, he was at the end of year 4, and so that's the point where you have to extend him. He was coming off a really bad year, regardless of the injury. So you couldn't really gauge like how you were going to pay him. I think he had kind of worn out his welcome in the locker room. I don't fault the Browns for moving on from Baker Mayfield, but I can't justify the Deshaun Watson decision. To me, I know it's easy to link the two because they were subsequent moves, but they weren't necessarily interconnected moves.
Let's play the what if. So you have that season, which is last year, not this past season, but 2 football seasons ago.
2022, yeah.
What happens to the Cleveland Browns in 2022? Deshaun Watson probably lands with the Atlanta Falcons. I think we can guess that's where he's going to go. And the assets are similar.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I think in hindsight, that's the better move because you keep all the assets and you don't jam up your salary cap and do anything like that. And you probably wind up just letting Baker walk at the end of the year, or maybe you franchise him and trade him depending on how he played. But
Cliff's Notes version of this NFL is that whatever happens with Watson down in Atlanta, and probably actually, I wonder if it does yield a division crown in that bum division for the Falcons. If they get slightly better QB, and they maybe do win the division. But where the AFC North is concerned, I think you can make a pretty good case that the Browns win the division in 2023 if they have Bake for 17 games. Look at what Joe Flacco just did.
Yeah, I mean, they almost won the division with Joe Flacco. So, yeah, maybe not that far-fetched.